When I first started recruiting him when I was at BC, gosh, I guess, I don't even know, that's 5, 6 years ago or something now, he was adamant that he was going to play Division I basketball, and I was like, well, look, are you willing to play a lower level of baseball?
People said, look, you're not going to be able to achieve what you want to achieve if you don't pick one. And I remember getting letters for baseball ever since I was like beginning my freshman year in high school, and everyone kind of thought that was the avenue I'd go. I pitched, I played the field, I played a lot more baseball than I did basketball.
I made him a fairly decent scholarship offer. If I remember right, I think it was probably in the neighborhood of like 60, 65% or something, which in baseball is a fairly decent scholarship. I mean, that's a pretty big scholarship.
I called him and I said, look, I really appreciate it, and you'll be the first person I call and come back to because I had a great relationship with him. But I'm going to try to see what I can do with basketball first. Still got a little time left to give a run at it, and that's what I want to do. I wanted to the defying the odds to the people saying, well, basketball's not going to be there, you're just a great high school basketball player. Defying those odds is something that I really looked to do, and I knew I didn't really have to make a decision on college until junior, senior year, so I was going to try to make that fantasy that people thought turned into reality.
I did not get to see him play till late July in Orlando in the National AAU event, and after watching a half, just flat out loved him and got the word back that we're offering him a scholarship and we want him.
All of a sudden, other college coaches were like, well, why is Notre Dame there? Maybe we should stop and look at it. I started putting up some numbers, and all of a sudden it was a frenzy. It was a week that I'll never forget.
I remember my first conversation with his father, asking, Coach, as you know, Pat's a pitcher, and he's really interested in pursuing that as well as basketball. Can that be worked out at Notre Dame? And I said, absolutely.
Mike called me and was like, hey, I heard that you were recruiting him for baseball a little bit and this and that. And I said, yeah, I was.
Mick was thoroughly excited because he said, Coach, you need to know this guy. And he knew him coming from Boston College. He knew him. He said, he's really a great baseball prospect, like a surefire major league prospect. And I was like, wow, I knew he was good. I didn't know he was a surefire guy.
And I got Pat's voicemail, and I said, I think the message was something along the lines was, hey, Pat, this is Coach Aoki. I'm over at Notre Dame now, and I guess you were right. I guess you can play Division I hoops at a pretty high level.
It was really funny because he was like, you were right. You showed that you could get Division I college basketball interest. Now it's time to just work it out and see if we can get you to do both.
I think what helped us was my initial response to his father saying, don't worry, we'll work it out with both sports. Love to do it. And some other basketball programs may, well, I'm not sure how we're going to do this. I thought it was important the first time that question was asked to answer it very confidently that he will do both and we'll work it out.
It's a testament to, Coach Bray's interest in wanting our student athletes to sort of be all they can be.
I mean, that was one of the main reasons I picked Notre Dame. Obviously, it's a great institution overall, but out of all the college recruiting that I went through, there were a ton of schools that were going to let me play both. Every school I looked at was going to let me play both, but there weren't many schools that wanted me to play both.
I'm still thoroughly amazed to this day. For 3 years, as soon as basketball ends, 3 days later, he joins the baseball team and he's out there throwing. I mean, that is evidence of a great athlete.
Pat is a unique personality and athlete. I think it's amazing the way he kind of goes between a basketball locker room and a baseball locker room and does it seamlessly.
I'm a kid that just loves, conversing with people, getting to know them.
He's a great teammate. His teammates love him. They certainly respect how he works. They respect his talent. They respect him doing the little things, defending, rebounding, dirty work. I think the personality has really helped him go back and forth between the two teams and with no issues at all.
I love both my teams, basketball, baseball, but there are other kids on campus. I mean, the soccer team I'm really close with. I've roomed with a soccer kid. No one would have guessed that, and some of my closest friends are on the soccer team that are in my class. I try to stay in touch with everybody from back home. I went to a high school that was 20 minutes away from my house, not knowing anyone when I went there, and now some of my closest friends are from there.
He hasn't forgotten where he's come from, I mean, I think he goes back there and, he's got I would imagine he's got his, his buddies from Arlington. He's got his buddies from the Magic that he played hoops with. He's got his buddies from St. John's Prep. He's got all of those different places that he's walked.
At forward, a junior from Arlington, Massachusetts, 6'5", number 24.
I think that's the epitome of how big time a competitor, the poise he has to handle that situation. I've never gone out into an arena and seen that 600 people up in the stands cheering for Pat and us, and for him to basically go out and put us on his back and kind of win the game for us. Usually when you put kids in that situation, they don't play well. 95%, and they're really good players, they just don't play well. This guy delivered at a high level, won the game, and we got on the plane and went home, and he did it like it was just another day at the office.
Every last one of them, the support that they give me is kind of why I do all that I do here at Notre Dame, is to make the people from home proud, make the people that, the relationships that I've touched, whether it's my parents, my family, my friends, acquaintances, whatever it may be, anyone who I've come in contact with, just to make them proud, make them know that I'm trying to do these things for the right reasons.
One of the things that I have found over the years that I admire about Pat is his ability to really shake off just what happened. I think his freshman year, was really indicative of that. We go down to the Big East tournament, and I mean, he just gets knocked around. He just gets knocked silly by St. John's.
It's a start that will keep me humble for the rest of my life. It's something that I've never seen happen.
He's out there for 30 pitches. I mean, I'm not sure that he even recorded an out, and he gave up 6 runs.
They're all runs that were my fault, if you will. I mean, I hit a kid, I walked a kid, and then there was just hit after hit through the 6-hole to the 4-hole, and that's what they did. And you got to attribute St. John's to that. I mean, they played really well, and they got the best of me.
We managed to win on, I think it was Thursday and Friday, and we have St. John's again in the semifinal. And we're looking at it, and we're like, well, Pat's had ample rest after 30 pitches of, getting lit like a Christmas tree.
I was lucky enough to try to redeem myself, and I think I did all right.
He's lights out against them. To do that 2 days after just getting ripped by that same team, it's unbelievable the way that he can just sort of move on to the next thing.
I ended up going like 6 or 7 innings, just giving up 1 run. The score was 1-1 when I came out, and I mean, the most important thing to me was I put my team in a position to win the game.
Shovels it right side. Patterson for the 3. That is no good. But Randall got in for the rebound. Good position, and he's fouled by Burgett.
Somebody's down over on the side, too.
Is it Connaughton?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's Pat Connaughton off to the side.
And this is certainly not good. He's in some pain walking in front of us.
For him to do what he did against North Carolina, when he probably shouldn't have played, it's a Saturday, Monday turnaround. To get 17 and 13 against that team in that building, basically playing on one leg, that just tells you the toughness, the maturity, the focus, a team guy. And it's funny, whenever he's been dinged up a little bit, and I know he's hurting, he always says, "I'll be fine, coach." There is never a time when you think he's not going to play. I don't even remember him being sick in the 3 years that I've coached him. I don't remember him getting sick. The guy just keeps plugging. One of the reasons he's such a great clutch basketball player is he's been on the mound with the whole game on his shoulders over and over again. There's not another guy on my basketball team that has faced that situation where you have to deliver.
He's in the #1 undergraduate business school in the country, and academically he's doing pretty well. And he's balancing the demands of 2 sports that do put a lot on you, from a time perspective and from the travel and everything else. And one of them being a hugely high profile with men's basketball. So, I think he's certainly a poster child.
I'd say that's kind of what I shoot for. Inside, I kind of know where I stand in the classroom, sports, student athlete overall, just kid overall, but that's just something that it's usually best to keep to yourself. The inner confidence is big when you're competing and all that sort of stuff. You gotta know that you're supposed to be there, but at the end of the day, people, if they're honest with themselves, they'll know where you stand. You don't need to talk about it, you don't need to brag about it, and there's always somebody better. The work that I put in is to be the best that I can be, knowing that I'm not there yet and that I have a lot of work to do to get there, and I realize that, so that's something that I kind of use to motivate myself and keep myself humble at the same time.
Baltimore select Pat Connaughton, right-hand pitcher. That's awesome! Select Pat.
Coach Bray called it yesterday.
Bray?
He texted me. Yeah, last night I just got a text from Coach Bray saying Orioles in all caps. And that was all it said. And I guess he knew before I knew. He must have more pull in that organization than I do.
I've been teasing Pat about the Orioles for a month. And the day before, I'm just kidding. It's got to be the O's. Got to be the O's.
O-R-I-O-L-E-S, Orioles. I am fired up, baby. You're definitely starting next year. If you didn't get drafted by the Orioles, you're coming off the bench. Definitely are starting now. I am thrilled, really. Congratulations, Pat. Let's catch up later tonight. I know you're busy, but black and orange, baby. You'll look good. Black and orange.
We could not have had a better experience than we've had at Notre Dame, really. And Notre Dame afforded Patrick a first-class education, a great experience playing 2 Division I sports, and we felt, and I know Patrick felt, a sense of real loyalty to the University of Notre Dame. And he had an obligation to finish his time here, get his degree, and finish his commitment to the basketball program, and he's going to do that. And I respect him for it. I think it's the right decision.
Well, there's no question on paper the best career for him is baseball. But I tell you, the jury is still out on his basketball future.
It's funny because it's a different level, but it's similar to high school. Everyone's like, well, your future's in baseball. The little difference is that now I have an opportunity to play for a living.
Pat probably has some options. I mean, maybe there's a few NBA feelers out there, but I would imagine that he could probably make himself a fairly decent living playing hoops overseas if he chose to go that route.
I've had a lot of NBA people ask about Pat. Pat loves basketball. We are thrilled that he'll come back and play his senior year with us and be a captain. But I think Pat is also intrigued a bit about what would his NBA stock be after one more year. So you talk about a guy who's truly an all-around athlete, Pat Connaughton is.
It's important to me to get my Notre Dame education, my degree, and I still got another year of basketball left. I've improved every single year, so you never know where that train can take you either.
All I know is since we put him in a starting lineup and we beat #1 Syracuse, who was undefeated, the rest is history.
Line Martin on the right now. Connaughton for 3. Yes! And the Irish start in fine style. 3-0 Notre Dame over Syracuse.
The guy has become a top college basketball player, and he's one of the best returning players in the ACC. I think there's a real security with Pat and his family that this will work out, and no one is going to pressure us into doing anything we don't want to do. He really does hold all the cards. There's a lot of young people that would like to have the leverage Pat Connaughton has on a lot of different fronts right now.
I said to people, the University of Notre Dame will do whatever it takes for their students and student athletes to excel, to do their best. And Mike Bray and Mick Aoki are proof of that for Patrick Connaughton, because they work together. There was never an issue either way. They told us Patrick can play 2 sports, and they stuck to their words, and look how it turned out. You know what I mean? Drafted by the Baltimore Orioles in the 4th round. Doesn't get any better than that. I seem to be saying that a lot about Notre Dame, though. Doesn't get any better than that.
I thought it was very important for me to come back, get my degree, and I've graduated from this university, which I still have to do, so I don't want to jinx that. But to do that, and then after that, I mean, I'll only be 21, 22 years old. I can focus all my time on sports for the rest of my life.